Welcome. On this tutorial, we're going to go through how to create this really simple calculator. There's many ways of doing this, but I found, I think, a really simple way of accomplishing this. So basically, we're adding and subtracting and doing all kinds of transactions here, and with multiple numbers and all that. So we should be able to like fully use the calculator, right? All right, so this is the idea. We're gonna go ahead and build it just with JavaScript and HTML and CSS, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is make a directory. And before we get started, I just wanna make sure the time, okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and make a directory and we'll call it JavaScript calculator. We're gonna go into that JavaScript calculator. And then we're gonna go ahead and create index.html, also scripts.js, and styles.css. And then we're gonna go ahead and open up in code to see what we've created so far. Okay, so that's what we got. And the first thing that we're going to do once we're in here, let's go ahead and get started with the HTML. So you could just, let me zoom in a little bit so easier for you. We'll go ahead and select HTML5. Okay, and HTML5, we'll go ahead and create this scaffold here of an HTML page for you. So I like to use Emmet, and that will make us code a little faster. So we'll go ahead and create a container wrapping class, and inside we're gonna have a section with a class of header, and inside of there we're gonna have an h1, and let's just begin with that. This h1 I'm just gonna call my calculator, and we got the container, we got the section. Great. Right under that h1 we could add an input, and we could have it as a text, and the name is not really important, but the ID is. For the ID, we're gonna call it display, so that this is gonna be the my calculator h1 and then the input for the display. All right, right after that section, you could create another section with the class of buttons, and inside we're gonna put in, let's see, so 4, 8, 12, 16 buttons. So we'll do button times 16. Okay, that's gonna create all the buttons for us. And yeah, it's not a friendly, as friendly as I wanted to, but okay, we go ahead and select the ones that end, the ones that close, and with Command D, I'm able to select all of them and just go to the end and hit enter, so that each one is in one line. And a couple of stragglers here that didn't like, okay. And then for each button, I'm gonna select just the opening tag, Command D, 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 all the way down. And this way, we're going to add a on-click function here. Not function, on-click attribute inside of the button. Okay, and we're gonna just do it with, let's say, get number function, for example. And this is a function that we're gonna have to make inside of our JavaScript. Okay, and the next, we're going to go inside of the buttons here. Let's just put a number 1 for now, and then we'll update later. And right before the body, we could grab script, and we make sure that we're pointing to that scripts file here. So we can just type in scripts, and basically it's gonna grab whatever we have on the scripts here. Okay, so that looks promising there. Let's go ahead and open it bigger. I have this tool called Go Live. Basically, it's an extension that allows you to run your this live server. Live server is an extension allows you to run like a local development, so that you could run your HTML and see your changes right away. So I got this going, and then once you install it, you should see the go live button down here. So I'll go ahead and hit that, and let's see what it looks like so far. So this is what we got so far. All right, the idea is to make it look like this. So let's add some CSS to it, so that we could get it to look a little better, right? So I'm gonna just put it down here so we could have access to see the container and buttons and all that stuff. So first thing is, well, we need to connect our styles, right? So we need to make sure that the styles are coming in here. So what we could do is we could link, and we can link the style sheet. Actually, we'll do it right. Link, and we could go all the way down to, or not. Okay, we'll do it. Just do it. Oh, I guess it took it automatically. Okay, so we'll do a style CSS, and just to check to see if it took it, I could do a body, and inside of styles, and I could say background color of red, for example, and bam. Now we know that it is working for us. So red is a little obnoxious, right? So what we could do is give it a nice, we don't want to go full black, black on white, right? Because it would be terrible for the eyes. But maybe we'll go with this color here. And then we could give it a font family of career. How do you say that? Career new? Yeah, maybe. Okay, nice. And then let's give that container class, right? The container is wrapping everything. Let's give it a margin of 10 view height. So top and bottom, 10 BH, and then side to side auto. This way it's going to be in the middle for us. So for the width, we're going to give it just a fix of 500 pixels. And oops, that goes there. And then for the padding, we'll do just 2 rem all around, making sure that that puts it all the way in the middle. Text align, we make sure we go center. And for border radius, we'll do like a 10 pixels, and then we'll do a background, let's say background color of, let's say 27 to 77. Okay, awesome. So nice, it's already looking promising. So the next thing we could do is we could style this header, and I'm gonna go ahead and move this up a little bit to get more real estate. So on the header, what we could do is give it a margin, oh, not that one, but just margin of 2 rem, and then for color, we could give it a, for example, this one here, 6, and that should be good enough. That's our header. It's looking very nice so far. Then what we could do is we could grab that input. We only have one input, right? So we don't need to give it a class. We could give it by we could grab it by the ID or just by the HTML elements. So we could grab that input and give it a width of, let's say, 37 pixels. I normally don't like to have fixed pixels, but for this video, it should be all right. 5 RAM, 2 RAM. So up and down is going to be 0.5 RAM, and side to side 2 RAM. And font size, we'll do, actually I think is FZ, yep. Font size, we'll do 3 RM. And border radius, okay, border radius, we'll do 10 pixels. And text align, we'll do right on that. And background color, we'll have a it's 2777. Yep. And then we could give it a color for the items that are inside of the input. We could give it that 666 for now. Okay. Awesome. So that's looking promising there. Now let's fix up those buttons. They're all just same buttons, right? So we don't need to get creative with the class or anything like that. But there is a class wrapping all the buttons called buttons. So we could say grab that class and we're gonna add a padding of 40 pixels, and we're gonna add this font size of 20 pixels and a margin of 0.5 rem. And actually I think that he needs the 0. Let's just make sure we add it there just in case. And max width, let's say of 100 pixels. Max height of 100 pixels as well. And text align, we'll do center in this one. And border radius 10%, it should be alright. And font weight, we'll give it a 900, nice boldy look. Background color, let's give it the same 2777. And color for the inside of the items, we'll give it that the same 666. Yeah, I could create variables for them and all that, but just for this tutorial to go quicker, we'll go ahead and create it like this, just with the fixed items for now. All right, then we'll grab all of the items, all of the elements that are buttons, and we'll go ahead and grab those here. Okay, button. So button, we could give it a padding of 40 pixels. Then we could give it a font size of 20 pixels. Margin, whoop, not that one. Just margin. Margin, we could give it a 0.5 rem. Then we could do a max width of 100 pixels. Whoa. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was like, what's going on? I thought I did this already. Okay. Yeah, sorry. This is for the buttons. All the buttons. Okay. And then for the wrapping buttons class, it's going to be a much simpler. Okay. There we go. Margin, sorry about that. Auto. And then the width is going to be 450 pixels. This is the one wrapping everything here. Display flex, flex wrap, and just gonna put wrap here. Justify content. Center. Okay. All right. So we should be good with the styles here. I'm going to share the repo after this. So now all the buttons are clicking and they're all supposed to be working okay, right? But so now let's talk about the JavaScript, which is mainly like the meat and potatoes for today's, right? For today's video. So what's gonna happen is when we click on one item, we want it to not only show here, but also like keep it somewhere temporarily so that we could calculate it with the second number that the user presses, right? So let's go ahead and fix this up. So we have number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's see how that's looking like. Okay, so that's okay, but we only want a 1, 2, 3, and then on the side we want like the plus sign. Okay, so that's what we should we should be doing here. So on the number 4, this actually should be a plus sign. 5, 6, 7. This should be actually a minus sign here, and then we could do a plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could do the multiplication there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we got the this guy here. Awesome. And we have the CE right next to the 0. So let's just continue down the line with the numbers. So after the 7, we got the 8, 9, and 0. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're missing 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we got the 0 here. Nice. Actually, that should be the CE, and then the 0 and the equals. Okay. So this is CE, then the 0, and then the equals. Awesome. Not CD, CE. There we go. To clear. Awesome. So it's looking exactly the same. Perfect. But now we got a 0 here, and we got like this is actually working, and we got to get this one working. All right, so I'm gonna move that out of the way. So now let's talk about the different functions that we got going on. So we have the idea is for us to be able to pass in a number into this function here, and we'll grab that value that is being passed through this function here that we're sending as a parameter. Okay, and then what for these, for the operators, rather than just call it get number, let's call it get operator. Okay, and we'll go ahead and copy and paste through the operators so that we could have that better here. Equals. The equals is a special, so the equals gets its own function. So here I'm going to just split it out a little bit so I can see it better. And then equals will say like calculate equals, I guess, call it like that. And then for the get operator, we're just going to go ahead and pass in the operator that this button represents, right? So we'll do, whoops, missed the, there we go. We got an extra parentheses there. Get the 0 working, and also the clear could get its own function. So its own function there. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we got just a clear display. Yeah, let's just do that. Clear display for this one. Okay, awesome. So now let's go ahead and bring in the scripts, and let's make sure that the scripts are connected to our HTML page here. So what we could do is we could just do a console log of test, making sure, and then we'll go ahead and right click and go to inspect, and let's make sure that under console we get the test, and we do get it. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So the idea is that we're gonna break down the steps of the workflow for this calculator. Okay, so the first step is going to be for us to press on one number, right? And then we save that number somewhere, okay? Then we press the operator, right? So we do like a 1 plus something, right? We save that operator. And then on number 3, we'll go ahead and press on second number, press on second number, and we save that second number. Then step 4, we press on the equal sign, right? And then once you put on the equal sign, make the calculation. Okay, so we're gonna need a couple of variables so we could keep track of all these things here, okay? So what we could do is we could create some global variables outside the scope of any function or anything, okay? So we'll create first number, for example, right? We could create the second number. We'll create let operation, so we could keep track of the operation there. And then we could also do like, let's try to keep track of these steps here. Well, actually, let me not confuse you with that just yet. Let's go ahead and create the function. So we could say function get number, and we'll get like the num when it gets passed through there. And we could say like console log for now, is num, right? And let's also create the function for the get operator. Okay, and then we could get like, let's see, we could see the operator is getting passed. Console log up. Okay, and we could also get the, there's also a function to clear display. Okay, and for that one we might not need to pass anything there, so we could just say console log clear display, just making sure that all those functions are connected to each other. Okay, and then we'll also create a new function. This one I'll do it, I'd say ES6, so we could say get actually calculate equals, right? So I'm trying to type fast so we could get through the whole thing. So console log calculate here. Okay. All right. So if I press on a number, I should be able to get a 1, which I'm getting console log here. If I press on operator, I should be able to get the operator there. And if I press on the clear display, I should get a clear display. And if I press on equals, I should get calculate equals here. Okay, perfect. So all of our functions are connected to our HTML, and it's all like talking to each other really good. So then what we could do is, what we could say is, on every step, as we're going through the steps here, how about we keep track of those steps? So we could say step on step, starting at step zero, okay? And we could keep track of the operation, right? Because each operation is either you're adding or subtracting, right? It's really simple calculator, okay? No decimals, no like a lot of different transactions in one go, just really simple. And then we could also keep track of a result. So we could say result here, okay? All right, and we're going to need to keep track of when we press on one number, we get that one number. But think about if you have like a 2-digit or 3, 4, 5, 6-digit number, right? So we're going to add those numbers into an array, so that later we could compress that array, like condense or merge all the numbers in that array, and then get that number and put it inside of first number. Okay, and so let's get started. Also, let's do we could do our cons for this one, display, and basically we're going to reach into the document, and we're going to get element by ID, and we're going to grab in that display ID that we have here. Okay, and what we could do here now is that we could check, and we could say display value, and we could equal it to like num. So whatever number I press on here, it should show up, and that's working fine. Great. Okay, cool. So that's how we get that that display to show up numbers for us. Okay, so what we could do here is we could create an if statement here, and we could say if step 0 okay? Or step one, what we could do is grab, well, we need to create the array where we're gonna put those things, right? So we could say const num array, okay, num array, and we'll have an array here. And then what we could do is we could say num array. Every time we add a number in there, we want to go ahead and push in that number, okay? And then we're gonna set the step now to be 1, okay? Because that's the first step. Then finally, we're going to reassign that first number to be num array, okay? But what happens when we push it in, it's gonna look like an array, just like an array like this, right? Like 1, let me add some comments here, like 1, 3, and 5, something like that, right? But we need to go ahead and merge those items in there. So we're gonna go ahead and use the join method for arrays, and that's gonna make them merge into one string. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way a little bit to give more real estate. All right, so it's gonna merge everything into one string, and I need to hurry up. I don't want this video to be super long. So then we can grab the display, grab the value, and assign that first number back to the value here. Okay, so this way we have the first step running, and we'll press on it. Then once we get the operator, we could actually set the step to be second step, right? And we could get the operator, the operation, okay, the operation to be this operator that we're passing through, right? So if it's a plus, we're passing in the plus, putting the plus, we're reassigning the operation to now be sum, right? And that's it for the operator. And once we press on the number 1, it goes through here. It's a step 0 now, or step 1. It's gonna go ahead and check step 1 and do the whole calculation. Now if we press on the plus sign, it's gonna be a step 2, so we gotta account for that. So else if step is 2, then we could grab that. Now we need to have like a second number array, so we could say like const say we just call it second array. Okay, just have like an array there, and then here what we could grab is that second number array. And yeah, we could reuse the same one, but I think it's just simpler to just keep it separate so that we'll get through it faster. And then the second number array, we're going to actually push that num in there, okay? And one more thing that we forgot is that since this merges into one string, we need to wrap it so that we make sure we get a number always. So if we wrap it like this, then into number. If we wrap it like this, we always gonna get string inside of an array. It's going to go ahead and put it together with a join, and then it's gonna go ahead and change that string into a number. Okay, so that's the idea. We get that second push here, and we'll do the same thing here. So second number, we'll go ahead and grab this second number array, and we'll join it together. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it with the number. So that the string always comes back as a number, okay? Display value, make sure it updates to the second number because we're reassigning it right there. And yes, we could have definitely streamlined it a little better, but I think this makes sense as we're getting around to to do the calculation. All right, so that should all work. We got the operator, we should be good there. The display, the clear display, this one should be fairly simple. We should just basically display that value. We should just reset it to 0, and then first number, reset it back to null, and second number, we could also just set it back to null, and a step, we could bring it back to 0, and then operation also null, and then result also back to 0, num array back to just empty array, the same thing with the second number array, just empty. And then for the equals, here's where some of the magic happens here. So basically, we're just going to do a basic if statement. So if operation equals a plus sign, then guess what? We're going to get the first number plus second number. Okay, and that we're going to assign it to result so that we can show it back up in the display. And the same thing down the line. So else if operation equals negative, then result first number minus second number. And yeah, I don't have Copilot to help me with the stuff, but it's all good. It's all good practice and typing everything out. Okay, then operation. Let's say if the operation equals to, let's say times, right? If it's times, then result equals to first number times second number. Okay, yeah, and like I mentioned, this is a lot of ways of getting this done, but I felt like needed to have this really simple one, just for to really grasp all the concepts around. Okay, so we get the result, first number, second number. Okay, all right. So that's what we got there. Okay, and then as we have that going on, we want to update that same display. We want to with that result. So what we could do is Command D, all of those second numbers, put an enter, and I could say display that value, and we want to update it with whatever the result is. Okay, and like this, let's check it out. Let's see if it works. So we do 10 plus 6, it should be 16. Nice. If we do 78, well, the clear 78. Well, the clear is not working. Okay, so because we're trying to reassign to a constant here. Okay, the clear display. All right, so it didn't like the const, so let's make it a let, and we can say 45 minus 8 equals, we could reassign that, and let's say 158. Well, it's not clearing it. Okay, so let's see what's happening there. So the clear display on line 42, so we got num array. Okay. So yeah, not letting us reassign those here. So let's go ahead and continue, put them as lets, and we'll do that. Let's say times 9 equals, and then we could reset. There you go. That was the issue. And like this, folks, we were able to create a JavaScript calculator. Sorry for all the mistakes and trying to make it quick. I'm trying to make a short video about this. I hope this helps, and I hope I don't confuse you even more. But I hope this helps you getting your your JavaScript skills to this level. Just the main thing is just to keep track of the things that are happening outside, the global variables versus the local variables. And with that, leave me some comments below and see if you liked it or not. Any feedback definitely helps. And until next time, see you.